Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide divorce mediation and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we'll discuss valuations for financial reporting with Mark Zyla. Mark is a valuation expert in Georgia, the managing director of Zyla Valuation Advisors, which is an Atlanta valuation and litigation consulting firm. Mark is also the chairman of the Standards Review Board for the International Valuation Standards Council. He also was the primary author of the education program of the AICPA and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors for the Certified in Entity and Intangible Asset credential. This is the CEIV, which I believe most valuation professionals are aware of, that goes towards certifying valuation experts in valuation for financial reporting purposes. And it's a fairly new credential. We briefly kind of got started on these intangible assets, if you will. But I think that, really a disconnect from business owners to like what we do in the valuation world is like, well, how do you value them? Like, how do you know what a trademark or a patent or any of these things are worth? Now, how do you look at it in the context of financial reporting? I think would be interesting as well.
Yeah. So as next question, if you think about identified intangible assets, it's specific to different sectors or different industries. Mm-hmm. But there are some common ones, things like technology. You mentioned patents earlier. There might be proprietary technology, trade names, customer relationships, non-competition agreements. But it can extend to things like domain names. And depending on the industry, it could be a wide variety of just different types of intangible assets. So it falls under the definition if it can be sold either by itself or monetized in some way, not necessarily sold, but monetized in some way, either by itself or conjunction with other assets, then it's considered to have value and needs to be measured at fair value. So what the valuation profession has done is taking corporate finance theory and valuation practices for valuing businesses and modifying them to value specific identified intangible assets. So over the last 20 years or so, the profession has created best practices on valuing non-compete agreements, on valuing proprietary technology, customer relationships. And also, since intangible assets have limited lives compared to the assumption that business has a value in perpetuity, there are methods now to value what's the remaining useful life of those intangible assets, because that contributes directly to its fair value.
Right. And what I don't think people also understand is that you are looking individually at these separate kind of pieces, right? Mm-hmm. Separate pieces and valuing them separately, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And there are techniques, to fit it in with the whole pie and the consideration that's being paid, but it's taking total consideration, total value of what was acquired, and then carving it out into individual values for each of the individual assets.